Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by REC Comics and Collectibles. I'm your host, Roman Chavez, and with me as always,
Erik Icarus.
Eric,
what's up, Holmes?
You can find us on the gram at REC Podcast. You can follow myself at Roman REC Podcast. You can follow the shop at REC Comics, 7679 North Union Boulevard in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And Eric, you'll see him around. Say what's up. He loves it, guys. He loves it when you guys. He just eats it up. We're doing the show real old school today.
Oh yeah, back in the bunker, baby.
We are in the man cave at the house. It is ridiculously messy and has not been maintained since I've opened the shop. So. Yeah, we had to do this. I had to be home this evening with my girls. So the fine Mr. Icarus showed up. He answered the call. The beacons were lit. Okay? And upon doing that, I had to regale him with drama inside the comic book community.
Stuff to talk about tonight, man.
We do, and it's very, very concerning, interesting, funny sad and funny to the right people and wrong people.
It is a human comedy.
Yes.
It's a divine comedy, if you will.
Yeah. So, a few months ago, actually in August, everybody had been following the C2E2 acetate scandal. All right, been dubbed Acetate Gate online. This isn't normally our bag to talk about the stuff. Eric actually loves drama.
I love this stuff.
So he didn't know what was going on, and I had to fill him in. C2E2's Chicago Entertainment Expo in Chicago. It's a big comic convention. They're known for doing lots of exclusives, getting big stars, the whole shebang. Black Flag Comics, which is as you guys know, an independent comic company online. They specialize in exclusive covers. They have had Clayton Crain as their exclusive artist now for a few years, and all of Clayton's art has been going through Black Flag. We weren't going to talk about this, but it got juicy, kids.
It just got out of hand, and I think for the community at large, it asks a lot of questions.
Yes.
Disturbing questions. I would even say disturbing questions
about
the scene. As far as books, companies that deal with books, artist rights in a weird way.
Yes.
So we're just gonna jump into this.
Buckle up, kids. I have a tale for you. So at Chicago, at C2E2, it was announced it seemed like maybe 2 days before the con that Black Flag was going to be doing a new run on the Ultimate Fallout Facsimile edition that they had created for the 10-year anniversary that came out last year. They said that it'll be a cover with an acetate cover, and I just assumed it was going to be Clayton's image, or at least pieces of it, on this acetate cover.
Right.
Okay? Acetate cover is basically like a plastic cover.
Is it like a Mylar?
No, it's thicker than Mylar.
Yeah, okay.
And it's a cool way to add some depth and effect to your comics.
Right. And this is for Ultimate Fallout.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, the 10-year anniversary facsimile edition.
Gotcha.
The original sales for the book weren't anything spectacular. Right. It seemed like they might have a lot left over. So people were excited. I know that there were some pre-sales. I had customers at my shop pre-buying between $200 and $250. Everybody was very excited. I assumed it was going to be Miles Morales' image on this, and you'd open it up, and then you'd see the regular image and blah.
Sure.
So people get there. It's going to be a limited run. It was either 500 or 750. And people start posting videos about certain influencers, as they're being called now, people in the comic book community that have had maybe possibly had special privilege. I don't know. I wasn't there, guys. I'm just repeating what I've heard and seen there.
And these are people who sell books.
Yeah,
through
people
Instagram
I've done business with. People
right,
I've had.
Sure.
People
We're not
I have
drop names on this.
People I have a good relationship with.
Right.
But you're not going to be a fan of everybody. So
sure.
So there was people saying and showing videos of these people leaving, getting several copies, maybe upwards of 100 copies on a low print run, when people are waiting in line. So it sounds like a lot of people didn't get the books that they wanted, and then these comic books resellers were flipping them for crazy amounts of money.
Right.
Crazy amounts of money. $400, $500, $600. I know on eBay there was a bunch of bids that were in the 20,000, but those were not paid. They were not paid. That was just people rage bidding on it
and trying to like not even necessarily undercut, but just screw them over.
Yeah.
Right. So because these influencers were reselling it.
Yeah.
And some of these people were setting up dummy accounts and just upping the bids. Yes. I mean, like just sticking them for the tat. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's revenge for you.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, right or wrong, I don't think it's great business practice.
I don't think it is either.
They said that they had already had these deals worked out beforehand, but then be honest about it and say, and then only do, hey, we're only gonna have 200 of the 750 print run
because and then, like I said, I think that's what it's the shadiness of it. Yeah. Of this initial part of the saga is the kind of like these influencers are buying it all up. Mm-hmm. It seems like rubbing it in the faces of the people who are just kind of just there to get their one book.
Yeah, yeah.
And now they can't because these influencers.
And then the people in line, they had a two limit. Oh. That was another part of it. Yeah. So 2 limit if you were in line. Meanwhile, some people were walking out with handfuls of this book.
Okay.
All right. So the comic book comes out. These videos come out, and then we see the book, and it's literally the exact same facsimile edition with a new cover stapled to it, so adding 2 more staples to the book. It makes Miles look like he's holding an American flag. It says USA on top, and apparently
in God or something.
So I'll get there. Okay. So the flag, I'm told, is folded not inappropriately, but not correct.
Right.
And in the back it says "In God We Entrust," which is not proper English and not the words at all. No. In God we trust. In God we trust. So there's errors to it. They didn't create a new print run, so it's actually their leftovers that they slapped a new cover on. New wrinkle. Many of these books were graded on site at CGC. All of them, not all of them, but a high amount, a kind of shocking amount, seeming to be 9/8.
Right.
If you add anything to a cover, it should not be a 9/8 blue label. They have a green label that they use for signatures that are unverified.
Right.
So if you have something signed by Stan Lee, but there was nobody to witness it, it says it can be a 9/8, but it says Stan Lee written on cover. It doesn't say that it's an autograph, yellow labels.
Yellow labels means
are witnessed.
Confirmed. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. Okay,
yeah, witness signature. So technically, this book should have been given a 9/8 with a green label. If it was in fact a 9/8, I don't know how you get a 9/8 adding staples to a book. So a bunch. This hornet's nest is just being just really riled up, and it's just. It's a big deal because apparently people are cutting in line. The resales are all over the place. It wasn't a new cover, and somebody says, "Oh, hey Marvel, did you know about this?" And they said, "No, you owe us money."
And they're saying this to Black Flag.
Yes, because when you do an exclusive cover with Marvel or DC, generally you have to order a 3,000 minimum.
Right.
So then you can take 1,500 of or 2,000 of those if you want, and then just do 1,000 print run. But those other 2,000 you have to destroy.
Right.
You have to give evidence that you've destroyed them. You usually have to send back the torn covers or whatnot. So basically, if this was a new exclusive, it should have been a 3,000 order, not what's left of a previous order. So it's just like all of this weird things. You have these online sellers coming to bat for each other.
Of course.
Of course. You know,
well, let me go back real quick. So when the CGC is grading these at a higher point value, are they only doing it for these influencer people, or is it just kind of odd that it's so many getting that?
It seemed like everybody, so I've never submitted to on-site grading, and I've heard the horror stories in both ways. Either everything I'm submitting is getting a 9/8, man, they are messing up, blah 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 blah, or man, this should have been a 9, at least a 9.0. It came in at an 8. Like you hear the pendulum go both ways.
Okay.
So not just the influencers, but other people, because when you do, so like if you had a double cover on a comic,
Sure.
which happens, I've never had one. Shout out to Christopher at the store who showed me my first double cover.
Yeah.
So if you send that in to get graded, it'll come back, I believe, green labeled.
Okay.
But they'll take the higher grade of the two covers, and that's the grade you get.
Okay.
So that kind of, so they're grading the acetate part of it, which is a very thick plastic in comparison to the cover itself. Yeah, it's probably a little, like a slight bit thicker than cardstock,
right?
But plastic. So it's just
that
like,
doesn't make any sense.
It is bananas. And to be fair, we didn't talk about the story before because while this stuff was like crazy, it wasn't
necessarily stuff we talk about.
I'm not into feeding into negativity.
Sure,
there's a lot of negativity, and everybody is talking about it.
Since you own a store, this does have implications as far as the grading system.
Yes.
Does this call CGC into question?
Very much so.
Okay.
CGC's been on a lot of people's crap lists because of super long delays.
Okay.
When I submitted some comics, and I'm going to humble brag here, I submitted some comics in November last year. Mm-hmm. I submitted 25 books. I got them back within 9 days. Yeah. In that time, people had been waiting months for their books. I didn't even pay for expedited. It just came. So I rolled the dice again. I sent another shipment. Within 3 weeks, I got 2 set of 25 graded books, so 50 books
within a month.
Yeah, it was insane. I didn't do anything special. I didn't pay for expedited. I got lucky.
Right.
But yeah, dude, people were sending stuff in hopes to flip these things at their high points.
Of course.
So like something like Thor: Love and Thunder, a lot of people sent in Thor #1s for Jane Foster.
Right.
A year before the movie came out,
and
didn't get books back in time. So they missed the peak. And it's less than it was going to be.
Was, yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. So there's been a lot of problems with that. There's been a lot. They had to hire a bunch of new graders.
Of course.
So you're seeing
a drop off in quality.
So again, both ways. Either this got a 9.8 and it clearly shouldn't have because it's got a
ticks
with color break or whatever.
Yeah.
A dirty barcode. I've seen a bunch of that. I've seen books come in that show me the flaw. I couldn't find a flaw in this, and there were 8 5s. 9 0s. Now, I'll put on my tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
There are people in the community who think that. So say you sent in a book and you're like, I guarantee this is going to be a 9.8. It comes back a 9.6.
Okay.
How more likely are you to resubmit that book? Because you believe it's a 9.8.
Right.
So are they double dipping? Again, this is just conspiracy.
Yeah, sure, but it does play into this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not necessarily, I mean, it's conspiracy, quote unquote, but there's merit to this.
Yeah.
Because like you said, certain things are coming back, but where's the why?
Yeah.
I mean, they do give you a quick list of like the why, right?
Well,
they'll say this, that, and the other.
They give you access to that, but you have to look it up online, and sometimes the grading notes are very, very vague.
Okay.
And it's very frustrating, especially if you have a 9.6 book, and it's just like gentle wear on cover, and it's like, what? What are you even talking about? Like, give me a picture.
Yes.
Like, I'm paying this fee. Like, give me a photo.
Exactly.
That I can access.
Right.
They have added QR codes to the back, so you can scan it and get get the notes. Yes, they are advancing.
But that doesn't necessarily help the grading system.
No.
It's just like it just gives you access to the why, I guess.
So again, with more tinfoil hat, I think that they hired hundreds of people.
Just too quick, I guess.
Too quick, so the quality and the consistency is going to be all over the map, and it does feel that way.
Real quick, on a side note, who's their competitor?
CBCS.
Okay, are they seeing a drop off, or are they actually kind of on the comeback?
They have an uptick, but they are not equipped to handle the uptick, so then they're backlogged. Oh. CBCS is not. They're not innovative at all. They're completely reactive. They really had some moments while CGC was struggling during the pandemic to meet demands. If they would have seen the forest for the trees, they might have been able to get ahead of it and really take over. They're really
DC to the Marvel.
Yes, they are. No, it's very. They are Walmart to Target. They are. They really are. Yeah. Now they're a fine company. They do things that CGC doesn't.
Books from them,
but there can be a wild swing in value from a 9.8 from CBCS to a 9.8 in CGC. Hundreds of dollars. Yeah, it really is the Coke and Diet Pepsi, or the Coke and Pepsi. You know,
right.
It is those things.
Okay.
So
this does call in the accuracy of these grading companies.
Yes.
Okay, so that is one part of the saga.
Yeah. It was pretty wild, and this like I said, this was about a month ago, 5 weeks, something like that. Black Flag was supposed to go to a con after C2E2, which they did not.
Okay.
And people have just been trashing Black Flag.
Right. And also Marvel is demanding money from them.
Yes. Yeah. I believe from Black Flag. I saw that Black Flag is no longer able to work with Marvel. I haven't corroborated that. I know that Marvel is not going to be working with Clayton Crain anymore.
Kind of blacklisted.
They seem to be blacklisted at this point. I'm sure they'll be able to settle something.
Sure. He is
fantastic artist.
Fantastic artist, but we will be getting into some other things very shortly, just kind of teasing you here a bit.
So Black Flag had been laying low for the most part. I did hear, and I saw a video that at the next con they went to, the owner put out a bowl of suckers just to take a jab at the fan base. It was weird because it really did enrage the community. There was nothing. I'd never seen any of drama last as long as this did. Like I said, we're a month later,
and we are talking about it.
Yes, and we're talking about it now because we have yet a new wrinkle.
Yes.
After the sucker incidents, it seemed like for the most part, Black Flag had been laying pretty low. The owner posts a video like 2 days ago this week, about a 10-minute, 11-minute clip, in which he talks about the fact that he and his wife are getting divorced because Clayton Crain had stolen his wife, basically. Like, she's leaving him.
That's the crux of the video.
Yeah, that's the crux of the video. It's very long. It's very sad. There are things that I don't care for in it, in terms of he really does try to spin it into, like,
a sales pitch.
A sales pitch for, like, don't you guys worry about me.
Is coming back,
Black Flag rocks and da-da-da-da. So I didn't really care for that. Clearly the man's hurting.
Yeah, we all do crazy things when we're emotional. I don't know if you out there watched the video. He does go into detail about, because him and his wife were co-owners to Black Flag.
Yes.
So they did own it. They did co-own this, and essentially Clayton Crain swooped in there, and I guess him and his wife developed feelings for each other, and then they left. But this owner gentleman, I guess, from what he said on his post, said he did threaten Clayton Crain with a firearm.
Yeah.
He does say he put a gun to Clayton Crain's face and told him to get off his property.
It's pretty intense. It's such a weird thing. Like we're all nerds, man. We never, like, the drama rarely gets like this. I don't know the last thing. I mean, there's always been the battle of resellers versus collectors and this and that.
That's been waging since the dawn of time.
Yeah, man. But this was just like...
This is on a whole new level because it's got the intrigue of the business part. Yeah. It's got some, like, odd love triangle thing, but it's like a very strange soap opera.
Yeah, they're saying IG is the general hospital of the comics right now.
It's very strange, and I do feel for this gentleman. I mean, in a strange way. But, he was implying that he had really nothing to do with this acetate gate. He was really throwing all the blame onto Clayton and his soon-to-be ex-wife, I'm assuming. But that's where I'm kind of like, okay, dude, I feel like you're not taking any responsibility for this. I understand, your wife left you for your so-called quote-unquote brother. He does name check him as his former brother in the video. It's very sad, but I get that part of it. But, dude, you need to accept responsibility. This was your company. So if you didn't see what was going on, you either look like now you just look like a bad businessman.
Yeah.
Like you didn't know what was going on in your company and in your home.
What do you think about the people who are like, we should sell all of our Clayton Crain books and boycott his art?
Yeah. What's that going to do?
Exactly. Like,
that doesn't do anything.
I'll be buying if I see some cheap Clayton Crain covers.
Of course.
They're always
go ahead
hot.
and sell it to us. We'll buy it for cheap.
I can separate the art.
There you go.
Go ahead. I'll let you deliver.
Separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy didn't do any Harvey Weinstein disgustingness. Yeah. This guy just essentially broke up a marriage, which is bad.
Yeah.
Awful.
Terrible.
But two consenting adults here.
Yeah.
So you cannot necessarily say burn him at the stake. You know, I know a lot of your other favorite artists have probably done some shady stuff too.
Yes, and it was just the wildest stuff, and I didn't even tell Eric about the acetate cover because I was like, it's gonna go away. The drama in our community doesn't really stick around too long, but man, there's been a lot of friction.
The last kind of big drama I remember was about a year ago when they were trying to get these cameo appearances as actual first appearances. That was like the last big drama.
Yeah.
And that didn't even last very long.
Yeah, it's always a Cold War with it. It's a Cold War with it.
But where do you think this makes... Okay, so do you think Black Flag as a company, it's got to be done. It's going to be liquidated. I don't think either of them... It doesn't have the name value anymore. Clayton is essentially blacklisted from Marvel.
That's what it seems to be.
So
I know DC will still work with him, and then he is good enough that he can, he'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
But there are a lot of people who like his work, and a lot of people who may have. I know, dude. I know people.
You met him too, right?
Yeah.
He seems like a nice guy.
I know people. No, he seems like a weird guy, but not.
Hey man,
yeah.
Weird recognizes weird, baby.
He seems like man, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're fine.
It doesn't seem to me like he'll have to lay low, but he'll be able to launch something. People will buy it, and if we see dips in books, I'm totally going to make a move on him because Clayton Crain. A lot of the stuff I brought back from San Diego Comic-Con was Clayton Crain stuff. I sold a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I don't see this the end of Clayton Crain's career. I think him and Marvel will work together again.
Yeah.
I think once this blows over, like I said, I think he's got the, especially now.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, especially this day and age, but there's no such thing as bad press.
Yeah.
As long as you're not Harvey Weinstein or any of people of his ilk.
Yeah.
The gentleman just you cucked this guy, whatever.
Yeah.
Awful. But it doesn't take away from your artwork.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Come on, at the end of the day, the guy draws superheroes. Why is that necessarily playing into your morality as a person who buys comic books?
Dude, I know people who won't draft certain NFL players in their fantasy team because they hit their wife or stole some batteries, whatever the case may be.
Are you talking about our ex-principal?
I am not. It's very, very... The divide in the community, because you have people arguing, not just like, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. People just saying, oh, why are you guys kicking this man while he's down? This man's hurting. It's
talking about the owner?
Yeah. People are defending the owner, but it's like, dude, you put this... You put
yourself.
You put your business
out there. You put yourself on blast, essentially. Could have definitely just not even said anything and let them report it and went out with some dignity. But I get it. We're all human beings, and when we're in a fragile emotional state, we do dumb stuff, man. I think that was a way for him to... Granted, his company's imploding, his marriage imploded, his friendship imploded. Yeah. The guy is grasping for straws. He's probably going on there to get some sympathy. I get that.
I get that too. I do.
He's probably
get that.
Grasping for some, social media, like, hey, hang in there, champ. I mean, bad choice of words. Don't hang yourself.
Oh,
you're gonna be okay, homie.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not. But
I don't think so. I think
this guy's got no discernible talent from what I can tell. I mean, the way he shot the video was really not good. He could have used an artist in there.
Jesus.
I mean, okay. I think this is very strange because not only do we call into question the grading companies, the biggest grading company, but then it put some sort of weird thing with Marvel and their artists now. Are they going to be like, hey, we need to be more in control of everything? Because you're going to be throwing out stuff and you're not going to let Marvel wet their beak.
Them blacklisting both companies is them coming, bringing the hammer. Like that is, like, you had to do that because, you have to order, like I said, a minimum of 3,000 in most cases.
Essentially.
That's a ton, yeah. Now, if you would have said, hey, we're going to do this, and then it was part of the initial deal.
Sure.
Part of the 500 are going to be acetate or something like that.
That's different.
Yeah, but that was not part of the original deal, and it was them double dipping.
Yeah.
So,
and then you have this whole influencer part of it where they're essentially able to just walk away with piles of money in their hand. While people who are collectors, again, back to that old argument, who just want their book.
Yeah.
And they can't even get it now.
Yeah.
So where does that stand? Do you think they're going to have to make more of a, hey, we have X amount now. This is all we got. You know what I mean?
They're just going to do it at the hotel now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. They're going to keep doing what they do.
Okay.
And getting there. And you know what? I can't say that I wouldn't take advantage of it. If somebody offered me early access to books, I'm going to buy them.
Of course.
The only difference is I would offer them for a pretty
reasonable
fair
price at
pretty
RC
reasonable.
Comics.
Yeah, check us out, 7679 North Union Boulevard in Colorado Springs. See, I can use it. This is my show. I can plug my stuff, all right? You know, it's all good.
Yeah, we're not like Black Flag.
I will say...
The band rocks, though.
Yeah. I will say, if anybody in the community is listening to our show... I hope we kind of...
We got homies in it.
Yeah, but I don't know if they listen to the show. But, you know, everybody calm down a bit, man. It's been heated.
It is.
Heated.
And people get real passionate about the weirdest stuff.
They do. They
really do.
But next week's show, you can watch Eric and I get passionate about She-Hulk. We're gonna be talking about... We'll talk about episodes 3 and 4 then. Yeah. That is our show for today.
Yeah, that concludes Acetate Gate for the moment.
Yeah. We will touch back on it if we hear anything else juicy.
Yeah,
drama's not usually our thing, but Eric and my wife, they love drama.
We do.
They better not be making no drama,
never.
brother.
Never. I just think, I think this called for it because there's a lot of interesting questions for the business, especially as a comic book.
Yes, that's really like the talk of it.
There is something here where it calls into question the books you're going to be selling from CGC.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to hurt your business, but like it does it bring down the value of like I'm not talking about this acetate stuff, but like a normal comic book.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a little flipping scary, man.
Yeah, it totally could. So that is something that we have to deal with in the future, and you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, kids. Thank you guys for watching. If you like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the little bell so you know when new shows come out. I hope that this was informative on the drama. Everybody I talked to about this didn't know an aspect that I knew, and maybe I heard wrong, but this was just a banana story. Eric, do you have any final thoughts for us?
You don't ever mow another man's lawn.
Ever, ever, never, kids. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I have been your host, Roman Chavez.
I'm Eric Icarus.
We'll catch you on the next podcast.